Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.
Today we have with us Mr. Rahul Godara, a seasoned data science professional with 9 years of significant working experience in strategic business analysis, P&L management, investment prioritization, business transformation, process improvement, and deployment of enterprise planning software. Rahul completed his PGFM from NIFM and MBA in business statistics from NIIT. He has also completed many Microsoft certification and training programs and was a runner-up in the Shell AI Awards 2022. Rahul worked in senior capacities at SMC Group, American Express, and presently working as a senior data scientist at Shell Energy. We welcome you to the expert interview series, sir, and hope you will have a good time with us.
Thank you. So it's every day is a new day. If I'm working on some sort of project, so obviously I need to convert it into user stories. User stories basically means I need to have individual task when I'll be providing a solution for my business problem. So every day I would be having a task which I need to complete it, and within our weekly call, I need to present what I've done from the last 5 days and what's my plan for the next week. Apart from that, sometimes you need to train your junior folks too. So these are some kind of ad hoc tasks. So within these ad hoc tasks, you need to prioritize with the work you're doing. Plus, you need to take out that extra time for your junior folks, where you need to train them within the data science framework. So that's daily life within this area. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first we need to interact with the business user or the stakeholder, what kind of problem they are facing. And they are not very tech sound. So obviously they can give you a scenario where they're facing problems. But as a data scientist, first you need to perform your duty as a business analyst, understand the language, what business is telling you, understand the problem completely, give him some more scenarios based on your domain knowledge. Let's say he has given you one scenario where he's facing some kind of problem, but obviously with that scenario you can provide 3 or 4 solutions. Apart from that, you can also present 2 or more scenarios in which they might can face problems. So combining all these sort of problem within an agile method, so we create user stories again, and then we pass on this information to a data scientist, which is again me. So I'll perform some data analysis by getting some data from the business user, and then I'll move on with my machine learning cycle, like data pre-processing, exploratory data analysis, machine learning model using traditional ML models or deep learning or time series, whatever the business problem is. And then you have to evaluate which model is working well for them, how is it forecast is aligned with your current data set. If everything goes well, then you deploy the model in the production side of the business user. So that's how you uh, do your all kind of work within this life cycle. Yeah. So initially, what you face as a big challenge is talking to the stakeholder, because these guys are very rigid. They don't allow you to access the whole data, because sometimes if you're working in healthcare domain or finance domain, so these data are really restrictive. You don't have any free environment to that. So obviously they are very restrictive using open source environment. So all they can do is you to create a synthetic data. But again, synthetic data you can create with the help of open source, but it's not the same which business problem is having with its existing data, right? So in that scenarios, first problem is getting access to these kind of data, which business is very reluctant of. And then you bring out more and more scenario or questions from the business users, because these people can't understand the tech uh, evaluation or tech questioning which you are putting to them. So obviously you have to behave in a well com skills manner, so that whenever you are encoding to him, you get the decoded in return. So that's a better communication skills you need to have. And these are happening in daily life cycle of any data scientist. So these are some of the biggest challenges to tackle these business stakeholders. So it's an amazing question. From the last 7 years, what I've seen is I was a data analyst at Amex, where I have seen a lot of data, try to build some dashboard, create some insights out of it. But again, the data science evolves within linear algebra and statistics, where we have to learn all these kind of skills, and then we can see we are able to forecast not just linear model, non-linear models also with the help of unsupervised learning. So previously, yeah, there was no non-linear models. Right now we have. We can also provide some time series analysis, which previously were not available. And from the last 2 years, all noise is all about large language models, which is basically into advanced NLP. So where we see the rise of GPT 3.5 and 4, the Llama models, BERT models, and all we can say is the next 3 years is all about LLMs, because when you create a bot from these LLM models, these bots are really helpful and handy whenever you're doing an individual task, whether it's a model building, whether it's a information gathering, whether it's a insights gathering from your data analyst project or data science project. So yeah, so next 3 years, these LLM models will rule over the world. Okay, so initial start is to, if we have basic understanding in maths and statistics, we can always start with the data analytics side, where all we need to do is to, get grasp of Python or R language. You can choose any one of them, but Python is being used 90% most of the time. So due to its computational power, go for Python and start doing data analysis with the help of pandas and numpy packages. And then you can move to machine learning model building, where you can use some packages or modules like sklearn or pycarrot. From there you obviously can learn 10 models you can build parallelly, and from there you can see which model is working well. And then the next thing is to, when you're done with which model is going to be selected, then you productionize it. And to productionize it, you need a pipeline, whether it would be in Python or whether it would be at CI/CD, or whether it would be any cloud server, AWS, GCP, or Azure. So you need to create a CI/CD pipeline which take cares of everything. Take cares of everything simply means whenever have you have a new data, let's say next year you would be having some new data. So you don't need to adjust this data in your database. All you need to check your pipeline that whenever it sees a new data, it consumes it, and the whole model cycle will run again. So that's what we call it experiments within CI/CD pipeline, continuous improvement, continuous deployment. And at the last, you monitor the models. If accuracy is dropping due to data drifting, or some data is changing due to COVID, we have seen that from last 3 years, data has been changed a lot of things while monitoring the model. So you can also monitor the model with using MLOps, and from there you can present it, all these your evaluation or reports through a visualization tool. If you're using Azure, give it to Power BI. If you're using AWS, give it to CloudWatch. Or you can also create a HTML web page UI with the help of Flask. So any sort of information available to you and you're good at it, use any of out of it. Yeah. I mean, if you're a data analyst, or data engineer, your way to become a data scientist becomes easy, because you have learned math, you have learned statistics, you are aware of Python languages plus C++. So it would be a smooth transition. But whenever a person is coming from a different background, let's say a commerce or art backgrounds, where they are good at maths, but they haven't touched Python as a programming language before. So all you need to grasp is do some certification, do some trainings within Python. It's quite easy. I mean, it's all simple English. You don't need to do anything tech. You don't need any tech sound knowledge behind it. So obviously, if you move forward and you're happy that you had adapt something within Python, so your next step is to learn more and more about data science life cycle. What are the models? What different models are there? and what insides in the model, like not just inside you read the functions, mathematical functions. No, all I'm talking about is architecture. You should aware how the decision tree works, what's the architecture of it, what is linear regression, how is it built on it, and what is time series analysis, how you are forecasting something on sequential data. So you should be aware of the architecture of all these models, and then we are good. I mean, but again, this area is not restrictive to knowledge. Every day is a new day in this area, every day is a new learning. So you have to keep on learning, and you have to be very dynamic in this area. Okay, so it's a booming area from last 5 years, as we all know, and we get is good amount of money in that. We all know, but the sacrifice which you need to do for this kind of compensation or for this kind of tech skills, you need to do a lot, and to get it, you need to work on it, work on yourself in a hard, and you have to provide a hard time to yourself, because this is not a restrictive learning. Again, you have to be wake up every day, and you need to check blogs, articles, and different websites on which you have already signed up newsletters, and you need to read articles, blogs, everything on daily basis. What's new is coming every day. Let's if I talk about LLMs, so every day a GPT model or any other LLM model is coming in our way with a billion parameters, with a billion amount of text. So we need to be aware of all these models or the development which is happening in our area. And a good practice is always go for research papers. If you are I mean, can understand the boring stuff which exist in research paper, because these guys don't use visualization much. And with blogs and articles you get familiar, because these guys uses visualization much, but they won't give you the text sound knowledge. Only from research paper you can get this kind of tech knowledge. If you are good at reading research paper, I think you're done and dusted. You don't need to get any advice from any YouTuber or any data science consultant in this area. Yeah, so smart work is the way. You don't need to do everything by your own hands. If you have something relevant or shortcuts within your life, so always try it. Don't live by it, but at least you should give a hit and trial method in it, that we used to do with our experiments. So this data science area is also an experiment which you can do every day within your life. So yeah, uh, do well with your experiments, always try to take risk, and you will get a better return, that's for sure.
Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.